Ebro in the morning, Rosenberg, Laura Styles, and Red Cafe.
Shake down.
Brooklyn's own.
Yeah.
So, yo, Red Cafe, are you? Let's really talk about. I want to get right to it, cause you are somebody that's had hit songs. You've had multiple record deals. You signed to Akon. You had a deal with Mac 10. What else? What else have you done? I mean, your resume.
With Diddy. Trackmasters. A few others.
You've been around.
Yeah, I made my rounds.
Bought some property in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, Jersey, Long Island, D.C.
And now you own property. I'm told you're a frequently seen on South Beach.
Yeah.
Doors open, Bentleys, Lambos, and other things.
I'm doing all right.
And so here you come back around and you're like, yeah, I guess I'll put out another song.
I mean, now I got the business out of the way. The business that wasn't really working for me. You know?
Explain.
You know, I mean, in the business sometimes it just gets crowded. You know, you might be at a record company and it just might not be your time. It just
and
might
you get
be crowded,
shelved or pushed to the back.
Yeah, you get just pushed. They're not paying the right attention to you. And you know, I went through that a few times. And then sometimes politics amongst the people that you're working with, they have a little politics with people that's above them, and then everything is just not playing in your favor. So, you know, I mean, you gotta have good knees for this thing, man. Like, for real. Like, it's
to have longevity.
Man, I see them come, I see them go. I watch the guys come from the bottom, take it to the top, winning. And I watch them go right back down. And I'm still there.
Coasting.
Doing all right.
Consistent.
What advice, great example, Brooklyn. What advice do you give to a Bobby Shmurda right
Interesting.
now? I mean, you're talking about one of the fastest ascents we've seen in a minute. Really fast. They're very new. Already have a deal at Epic. They have only really a couple songs out.
You've been through that Epic system.
Or
was it Capitol?
No, Capitol.
It was Capitol.
Capitol.
Yeah. All right.
So what advice do you give to these guys? Rowdy Rebel and Bobby Shmurda.
Man, I love what they're doing. First of all, I'm excited about the movement. It just brings a new energy to the city.
And they're happy and having a good time.
And they're making us happy. We're happy to see what they have going on. But I think they got to seize the moment immediately. You know, get an album out there, go out there, hit the road, you know, preach your gospel to the whole country. You know, not just like, you know, in a couple regions that's all the way on board. They got to get out there right now. I listened to the album, the mixtape that they put out, and it's good. It's right along the lines of what they did. And I think they should just get out there, stay consistent, try to grab some producers. This game to me is about producers. When we lost the producer, when the producer started making so much money, and the producer didn't pay attention to, you know, hey, I gotta cultivate, I gotta do my obligation to the game and sit down and show these. We got the best rappers ever, period, here in New York City.
Yes.
But they just know how to rap. They don't know how to make no records.
Well, I want to stop you right there. Because I have this conversation all the time. Because artists come to me and they're like, yo, I got bars. My music is good.
Right.
And I always listen. Well, not always. Sometimes. I listen and I say, yes, you can rap, but your music is not good. And sometimes people don't know the difference between their words and the actual song itself. Right? So can you talk about, because you obviously throughout your career have made the song more important than just trying to be an MC. There were times where you was MCing and doing your thing, but there was other times it was like, yo, I'm gonna make this song.
Yeah, I mean, because we're in the music business. You know what I mean? If we're gonna talk about Smack or URL, if we're going to talk about that, then it's something totally different. But we talking about this, you're talking about you being in the #1 market, biggest radio station in the country. You know, it's a lot of different things that play a priority more so. So we got to make music. But these guys don't know how to make music. They know how to put words together and go out there and be like, man, that's whack. I rap better than him. But that ain't the point. It's about melody. You learn melody before you even learn lyrics. So you got there, you hearing a couple records. I don't want to mention anyone, but it's a couple records that you love. You don't even know what they're saying, but you just love it because it's the melody.
My lifestyle. Yo, but that song is ringing though. I don't know what dude is saying. I never know what Young Thug is saying, but it sounds like one of them old heroin blues records from back in the day that my grandma.
But it feels amazing when it comes on. Like 2 a.m. You pulled up, you with your people. This is what you want to hear.
No, and it's important for them to understand. Like, you may not love or understand the words of it, but you have to understand there's the reason people like Thugga blow up is not because of bars. It's simply because he has great melodies naturally. Absolutely. So it is important for artists to understand that.
I think even with Bobby Shmurda, I think the reason he blew up was because you saw some kids from a neighborhood that isn't so great on video.
Right.
And they were having fun.
That's right.
And it wasn't, a lot of people miss, in his lyrics he talks about some things that we would prefer not be the basis, putting bullet holes in this and selling crack since 5th grade and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we would prefer that to not be his reality. And we hope his reality changes. But when you look at the video, they didn't put guns in the video.
Right.
They made a point not to do that. They're dancing and having a good time and they're laughing and smiling. And then it was the dance and the fact that it looked like they were having a good time that became the part that everyone was attracted to.
Right.
And then now when the record comes on, people associate that visual with just dancing and letting yourself go and
That's
having
actually
a good
point. At first I thought you were just talking crap because you're old and trying to figure out how to like it. But you're right. The fun part is important, like that, because think about how many artists we've seen like, yo, I got bars, and then when you see them, all they do is
it's too serious.
Well, who wants to participate in that?
Nobody.
Like, I don't want to get yelled at.
I don't want to hang out with you.
Right.
It's too serious. We have to deal with that here because New York City is serious. The tri-state is serious. There's so many people. Everyone try to out hustle you. So we live a serious life over here more so than it might be in another region. They having fun. Everyone knows each other. There's 300,000 people in the damn city, and they all know each other.
It's 8 million.
And it's 8 million. It's a lot different here. It's serious. We gotta out hustle the next man.
But you gotta remember, like, people can't. Sometimes people project the hustle too much into the music. It's like, we know. Okay, the Beatles were hustling, but the song "I Want to Hold Your Hand" wasn't about hustling. It was about a topic matter.
Right.
You can't have everything you do just be about the hustle because you have to entertain the people. So what's going on with your music right now?
I mean, I feel like I'm making the best music I ever made. I'm excited about it. I got a new song, Pretty Game.
But ain't that what you supposed to say, though?
Yeah, I'm supposed to say that.
You know what's crazy?
Absolutely.
I heard, the first time I heard a Pretty Gang was from my girls that live in Paris and in Belgium. I go to Europe a lot. And you're everywhere overseas.
Yeah, I travel a lot.
But, like, I feel like your presence is bigger than here in New York. Like, somebody told me that you had, like, a business out there, booking agency.
Yeah. I got a booking agency. We do France, Dubai, and Germany and Italy. So I mean, I took that role to do something different. Meanwhile, I was going through the dramas with the record companies. I wanted to get out. I didn't want to be. Ebro told me this like a couple years ago. Like, why are you signing to a record company? And I should have listened then. But I still had to go through the things that I went through. And now I feel like I have the full control. I can do exactly what I want to do. I can market and promote my record the way that I want to do it. And I'm not going to have to deal with all the dramas of people telling me, hey, man, I don't think you should do that. I don't think you should do this. But before that, I was doing this booking agency, and it started to really work. I brought some of the biggest artists over there to Dubai. Athletes and actors, and
I know exactly how this business came together without you ever telling me. I already know how it came together, and you're a genius. Like, that's just a smart thing to do. You saw an opportunity, you're like, oh, you know what I can do?
Absolutely.
You brought me over here.
Right.
I know some friends.
Because you know what? There's no translation there. Sometimes they can't find it.
I know.
Yeah.
So
sometimes they need DJs.
Sometimes.
Rosenberg, you pitching stuff.
I mean, sometimes it might be interesting to have, the white guy from Hot 97 come out. You never know.
There's a lot of things that we could do there.
We should talk about that.
Yeah,
let me not get into that. I was going to say, just make sure you can go to Dubai. That gets a little crazy.
Oh, me?
Yes.
I think I'm clean in Dubai.
Just triple check.
All right, I'll talk to
triple check on the,
my passport, my name looking crazy on the
Rosenberg
passport.
going to Dubai.
I'll be fine in Dubai.
Or else just take Paris.
Oh yeah,
Belgium.
I'm going to Paris first. Let's warm it
Paris.
up.
That'll be fine.
Let's warm it up in Paris.
Italy.
Paris is good.
Italy.
Belgium, Germany.
Warm
there's
it
a
up
lot.
first.
Yeah.
So a couple years ago, you said I told you not to join a record label, and I tell people that now because I see where the business is going, right? You know, when you get to a record label and they're giving you a loan basically that the interest rate is bad on. Right. So they're giving you a bunch of money, and it's worse than a home loan. It's worse than the worst credit cards you could get. It's worse than anything.
You never make right on it. It's terrible.
You know, but it does work for some artists. It is the right thing for some artists, and it was the right thing for you. So now, how are you using your other businesses to use that funds to market the music you're doing now?
Finance. Yes. I mean, you know, now I'm in a different financial space, so I could do what I need to do.
Talk about it
for myself. Yeah, but I mean, it's not for everyone. You know, now to me, the game is an independent game, so it's turning into my game, and I'm watching artists that even some of our artists here at the house. They haven't put out albums in like 5-6 years, 9 years. I know I don't want to say anyone's names, but 9 years, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, it's similar to what I went through, but it's bigger than us, man. And now we're in the independent game, which is what I've been used to. I've been marketing, promoting my records from day
Since
one.
the beginning, yeah.
I shot all my videos. The only video I ever got sponsored by the label was Fly Together. Every other record, I sponsored it. I paid for it. So this is what I'm used to. And now I'm in a place where I don't have to hit the brakes. You know, now we can just go and turn up. And I can rep the town, wave the flag.
So are you even going to put out an album, or are you just going to do singles? Like, what's the long plan?
Yeah. Well, we're going to do an EP in October, album in February. I got all of my records. We in the studio just because we cultivate. We got a few new acts that we working on. I brought my big brother Tone back in to the fold, and you know, I think, like I said before, it's all about the producer. We got great rappers, we got great MCs here. It's time to just get next to them and do what our obligation is and get back and make,
Are you
make the records.
At all running into any barriers when you're trying to reach out to local MCs here to teach them how to make great songs? Like, what's some of the advice, and then what are some of the common obstacles you're running into?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely run into obstacles with the kids. Like they
think
they know everything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And then they go through they're gonna have to go through these things that we went through. And so if we're in a place where we feel that this kid right here, he can do it. He can break the song up and make sure the song is different every 45 seconds. Every 45 seconds, something new needs to happen.
Message.
You know, so if you can get to them
talked about that today.
And tell them that, and they accept it, then we can have a lot of
and where did you learn 45 seconds from?
Of course, from Tone. Yeah, Tone taught me too much, man. Yeah, so I mean, I'm excited about it. You know, the Pretty Gang is going.
People like that. So I like that song. Sound like something.
Yeah.
How much time? How much time has it been for you, Rag Cafe, in the game?
Oh man, do I have to do this?
Well, I can tell you when I got that RCA record.
But see, don't.
That was 10 years ago.
Let me give you a common mistake that I believe that people make.
Okay.
Right. Which is why I'm finding people calling me the old man, and I run with it. Is that people who are 17, 18, 19, 25, 26 years old in the game, they don't want to see us try to be 25, 26, 27 years old in the game. They want to learn from us.
Right.
So it's not that they won't like the material that we give them if the shit is dope. That's not the point. The point is that I like to give context for the young cats, right? So when they think that they're supposed to be an overnight success, when they think that things are supposed to turn around for them in 2 years, it don't happen like that. Right? And where you are in a comfortable space right now, I just want to use that as a teaching tool. So young people be like, wait a minute, he came up rhyming, he did this, he did that, he had record deals, then he got wise and was like, yo, let me invest in my money in some businesses and real estate and things so that my money begins to work. You know what I mean? That my money begins to work for me. And now, because you're a fan, you're an MC, and you love hip-hop, and you love New York hip-hop specifically, you're in a position to not only give back, but also put out music at your leisure.
Right.
That's why I wanted to give it context, is because I like when I tell people I've been doing this since 1990, they're like, yo, but you just came on the radio and took the show from Rosenberg. That's not how it happened, my G.
No.
That's not how it went down at all. But they just, people live so in the moment that they don't, when you don't give them context.
I think you made another good point, though, and I don't like to give you credit for making 2 good points in one interview.
That's called hate, sir.
Well, absolutely. The thing about it's totally okay to be older than the youngest rappers out. Just stop pretending to be the youngest rappers out. And a lot of rappers have come up here and they've talked about like people don't respect, us and blah blah blah. But it's like, just be you. Don't try to show up to the club looking like I can't see someone show up to the club wearing a Young Thug skirt. You're gonna look crazy out there.
Right.
Just wear your Aniche jeans and be you.
Your Aniche jeans.
They don't make those anymore.
Well, bring your throwbacks,
There-
but you don't
there
need
was
to
a-
try to be young.
There was a time period when I felt like that's what was going on here at the house, and I had to get out because I didn't feel inspired anymore. You know what I mean? I felt like it was a ceiling and then everyone was just imitating. No one was innovating, so I had to get out.
And you know what that was? Because I watched it happen. You know what that was? It was the demise of the record industry. Hip hop in New York got so accustomed to the record labels being right down the street,
Right.
that they could just leave their borough, jump on a train, and go try to get a record deal.
Right.
Meanwhile, hip hop in other markets, they didn't have that. So they had to create their own movements. They had to get in vans, create their own t-shirts, create their own social media.
Go on the
and
road.
Go on the road and do all this work themselves to create a buzz. And it took several years, and then they finally popped. Hip hop in New York had gotten lazy because they could just go down the street and somebody in the office would cut them a nice little check real quick. They put out a couple of albums and they good. They didn't have to do any of the work.
Right.
So what ended up happening is everyone else started outworking hip hop in New York City, and now New York hip hop, with the help of Rosenberg,
Well, thank you.
right, where you have the Action Bronsons who have a touring fan base. They
Right.
go on tour, right?
I love it.
You have East Flatbush or Flatbush
Flatbush
Zombies
Zombies.
that go on tour, and you have Joey Badass that they go on tour. They're not concerned with radio. They're out there building their own things, and then they come back around to us and they're like, "Yo, all right, now I'm 2-3 albums in. I have my touring thing. Now I want that mainstream next level thing." Right, but it was the work that went in for the underground acts to kind of reignite this thing, and that's why things are kind of where they are right now, where we have new acts that are you. Bobby Shmurda didn't give a fuck about radio when he put that song
Not at all.
on YouTube.
Not
They
at
wasn't
all.
even thinking about radio.
Nope.
Right? We saw kids talking about him on social media.
We
and
went
then
to them.
and found them.
Yeah, he was hot on Vine. That's what really made him pop.
Did it for the Vine, man.
Right. You did it for the
Have you had anyone come up to you? I don't mean to be out of line, but tell me if this has happened. Has anyone come up to you and kind of be like, "Oh, Red Cafe, huh?" How you can just tell they're kind of like, "Damn, where you been at?" And you're
Yeah.
like, "My man, I'm
Yeah, I
good."
get that.
And you're
Yeah, I
like,
get that.
but do you ever feel funny because
I
like
get all kind of crazy stuff,
it must feel good though when you know that they don't even know how well you're doing.
I mean, it feels amazing, and they'll never know. They're ignorant to that, but it happens all the time, And just as you being, you dope, you could do different things, and you know what you're dealing with. You just gotta know how to deal with that, because then, me coming from where I come from, we deal with things a little bit differently.
Yeah, no, you don't have to deal with that. Now you're because now you're a bit. Let's be honest. Now you're a businessman.
Yeah.
How long have you always been naturally business minded? Was that always like? Did you always have a good grasp on it?
Growing up, I did some crazy shit
To make money?
Yeah, to make money, because we ain't had no money. Sometimes I go take a shower and the water coming out was brown. You know what I mean?
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, it's crazy. When first before I came here, my bathroom was an outhouse. So when it was time for me to step up and become that age was like 12 or 13, that I need the new sneakers. I need these. Everyone else has them. Why I can't have them? I went out and did crazy shit to get it. And when I just kept getting caught, I just had to do something different. I'm not good at this shit.
So when did you?
His life is not for me.
So being totally honest, so you're better naturally at legal money schemes. It's more natural. That's okay.
Yeah, I
That's
started
okay, that's
hustling.
okay.
It's okay.
I started hustling.
man.
I wasn't really good at that neither.
You're good at
You know
legal
what I'm saying?
business. That's a great trait. I wish I was good at legal. I'm not good at neither one. Illegal, legal, neither.
Neither.